of New Jersey's oldest ice hockey rivalries continues as TV3 Sports comes to the Montclair Clary Anderson Arena for the National Conference A Division matchup between the visiting Green Dragons of Brick and the host Mounties of Montclair High School. Hello everyone, I'm Steve Tober along with Pete Caggiano. And Pete, we could have a preview of the public school final in 1995, Brick and Montclair.
These two teams met back in 1990 for the state championship, and this year, with the new format of a parochial and a private championship, we have an excellent opportunity of both these teams meeting in the state championship.
And TV3 will be there if we have a TV3 area team there for the March 15th public and parochial private championships, and then again on March 18th in the state final. But Pete, we have an interesting coaching matchup today. Brick, which comes in at 4-6, Montclair at 5-1-3. Brick's leader, the winningest coach in New Jersey. Montclair's leader is a rookie in head coaching circles in New Jersey, but yet a very experienced coach.
Peter Herms coaches the Montclair high school team. This is his first year as a head coach in New Jersey. But as you mentioned, Steve, he comes from good stock. His father, a longtime hockey hero here in New Jersey. On the other hand, Brick, all you have to say is Bob Auriema, in his 29th year as head coach, 430 victories, the most in the state.
And Brick, a team which has been struggling the last couple of seasons, Pete. They're known for their offensive firepower. They're also known to have great defensemen who can go both ways, move up front, and also play the back line. That goes for number 8, Brian Hollenbach, one of the top goal scorers for the Green Dragons.
Right now, Brian has 10 goals. He scored 2 just the other night. But more important, he's a Brian Leach-type player. And his wingers know that. They look to feed him in the slot. Watch tonight for him to leave his position at the post and crash the net and look for that pass from the corner.
And the Montclair Mounties a couple of years ago, two of the top goal scorers in New Jersey were Mike Reveley and Doug Rosa. Well, last year the Mounties slumped to 4-14-2. They've come back with vengeance this year, and number 8, Mike Reveley, has been on a tear, Pete. 19
goals this year, and you know what else I like about this young fella? He can score the big goal. Quite a few times this year, he's come back in the last minute or two of the game to bring Montclair back into the lead.
He had late goals to tie both CBA and Seton Hall and big ties for the Mounties. Now, these two teams have played close contests over the year, Pete. In 1981, Don Eccleston guided Montclair to the state final. They beat Brick 6-5 in overtime. And you mentioned 1990, 2-1 Brick, and a memorable ball game. Last year, 4-3 Brick won up here, 4-2 Montclair won down there. So you would think we're going to have ourselves a nip and tuck hockey contest here tonight.
Well, right now you have the number 2 team ranked in the state, which is Montclair, the number 10 team, which is Brick, and both teams play in that real tough National A division of the New Jersey Interscholastic Hockey League.
And 4 of Brick's losses have been won by 1 goal or less, including an empty netter against St. Joseph Metuchen. So they've played some nip and tough games. Montclair's been fortunate with some ties. It should be a great game here tonight. We'll be set for the opening face-off right after this. Back at the Montclair Clary Anderson Arena in Montclair, New Jersey. Steve Tober, Pete Caggiano getting set for the face-off of Brick and Montclair. Let's check the starting lineup for the Green Dragons. Brick will have at left wing number 7, Jason Jarvis. The center is number 16, Tom Kogan. The right wing is number 17, Kyle Weesey. At left defense, number 8, Brian Hollenbach. The right defense, number 4, Steve Acropolis, the grandson of Coach Bob Auriema. There we see our lineup there, and the goalie, Jake Kale, a sophomore, and Kale in goal 4 and 5 with a 3.88 goals against average. For the Montclair High Mounties, at left wing, number 13, George DeLuca. The center, number 8, Mike Reveley. The right wing, number 4, Ryan Bailey. The left defense, number 18, Doug Rosa. Left defense, Matt Trevenna, number 11, and the goalie, Scott Hirschberg, number 20. And we face off to start tonight's action, the Green Dragons, and obviously in the green, Montclair in the white with blue pants. Off the face in the Montclair zone, Reveley, though, able to clear out. And Pete Caggiano right off the start. Important for Brick to get a good start.
Well, Brick traveled about 50 miles north to play this game. and it's going to take a little while for them to get their skating legs.
They call this the black and blue division, the National Conference A division, and for good reason. It's a very physical league, the best league in New Jersey high school hockey, as Reveille sends it down to the brick zone. Steve Acropolis, as Montclair makes its first line change. Tom Haberbush dumps it in. Jason Kale rolls. One of the long-standing rivalries in New Jersey high school hockey. These two teams have been playing since the late 1950s. In terms of club hockey, Brick brought in varsity ice hockey in 1963. Montclair able to keep the pressure on. Skylar Minor. Tim O'Rourke, a big defenseman, comes out. Here's a slapper by Volpe. And Kale has the puck slip off his glove and behind the net and whistle.
That time Kale had to come up with a big save as the shot came from the point, not particularly hard, but it was deflected at the last second. And that time Kale was quick with the left glove. There we take a look at our two officials. That's Tim Walls dropping the puck, and John DiCarlo just skated through our screen.
And our first face-off in the brick zone to the left of goalie Jason Kale. Tom Kogan and Mike Reveille. Montclair's first line back out. Ryan Bailey. Reveille, the big goal scorer for Montclair. 19 goals coming in. Kyle Weese works it free. Weese, Kogan, the top forwards for Brick. Randy Bray back on defense now for the Green Dragons. As Reveille comes charging in, there we see, Pete, a good example of the black and blue division. Reveille came charging in as they tied up the puck along the boards.
Well, Steve, we spoke earlier today with Peter Herms, and he said he was going to mix up his forechecking strategies. So far in the first 2 or 3 shifts, we've seen an aggressive forechecking move. That time you saw the defenseman pinch in to keep the puck in the zone. What's happening is they're not allowing Brick to set up to get out of their own zone, and so far it's working well.
And Montclair skates basically 7 forwards regularly, so to change up your forechecking schemes is important. You can't burn people out as the game is just in its early stages.
Steve, at the high school level, you can probably get away with rotating just 2 lines.
With the 15-minute periods, you get away with it. Coming in is Rosa, little backhander just off the side of the net. Doug Rosa, who had been a wing before this season, number 18, is now playing defense. He can skate end-to-end with the best of them.
That was a very smart play by Doug Rosa, the senior defenseman. Right now, 5 goals. Watch the patience as he picks up the puck. Now he'll move to the center of the net, holds, waits for the backhand, trying to find a little opening, but that time Kale was able to get a piece of it, and he holds on for the whistle.
The second line, Skylar Minor, number 6, the center for Montclair, off the face. Green Dragons trying to get it out of their zone. Tripped up is Kogan, and sent it over the boards was Peter Portis. Senior defenseman down there's Bob Auriema.
430 career victories, his 29th year behind the bench. And you see his record. And Steve, I was looking at some of the statistics today. Between these two teams, 13 Gordon Cup championships and 8 state championships between these two teams here tonight.
And very unusual, both teams have in 2 seasons apiece have won both the Gordons and states. 1976 and 77. 76 and 79 for Brick and 87-88 for Montclair when they won both titles, which is not easy to do. CBA did it last year.
That takes a phenomenal effort to do that.
Off the face, the Green Dragons finally get down to the Montclair zone. Kogan coming in on left wing sends a hard shot wide. Tom Kogan, the leading goal scorer for the Brick Green Dragons, 14 goals coming in. Had a goal the other night, an 8-5 loss to St. Joseph Montvale. 11:44 to go first period, no score. New Jersey Interscholastic Hockey League National Division, National Conference A Division action on TV3. Regrouping is Brian Hollenbach, the player we focused on in the open. He likes to skate both ends of the ice. 10 goals on the year. Sends a big shot in. offsides, it appears, against the Green Dragons.
That time Hollenbach coming down center ice, let a quick shot go from just outside the blue line. But what happened was his teammate, Nick Iannello, the freshman, jumped up in the air right at the blue line, putting himself offside. There we take a look at Scott Hirschberg, the senior goaltender for Montclair. So far, he's had a pretty quiet evening. He has had, in this season, he has 5 victories, 1 loss, 3 ties, and his goal against average is 2.44. There's Peter Herms, the first-year head coach.
Peter, once a draft choice of the Edmonton Oilers and played for the Muskingum team of the International Hockey League, now the Cleveland Lumberjacks.
And back in 1979, he was an all-state player for Seton Hall, playing under John Warchall.
He later went on to Deerfield Academy, University of New Hampshire. Played for an elite team in Finland. Was a National Scholastic Coach of the Year by Hockey Magazine in 1993 at Tabor Academy in Massachusetts, one of the top prep programs in the country, when he went 26-2 against the best teams in Massachusetts. Not easy in any year. Massachusetts known for some of the best high school hockey in the country. Off the face, Acropolis. And trying to keep it in the Montclair zone is watered off to the right of Hirschberg, and Bailey collides with Jason Jarvis. Dougie Rosa able to work it back. Rick keeps it in, shot, save Hirschberg, loose puck. DeLuca tries to get it out, he can't do it. Centering pass, Ryan Bailey is there for the Mounties. Dangerous situation with a loose puck in front there. Here comes Mike Reveley. Brick skating very well in the early going, Pete.
Well, they're starting to get their legs now a little bit. They got to the rink about an hour before game time just so that they can stretch and loosen up. As I mentioned, they drove about 50, 55 miles to come up north for this game. Steve, in that last situation, the freshman Matt Trevinian made a great play in front of the net. After the shot was taken by the Brick winger, he did a great job riding off the other player who was right in front looking for that rebound.
Yes, Trevanian is a very good positional defenseman. He's only a freshman. He was a freshman starter for the varsity soccer team. Has stepped in nicely, teaming with Rosa on one of the back lines for Peter Herms' team. Trevanian, just a freshman, but in ice hockey, you see a lot of times freshmen who play a lot of club hockey, they step right in the varsity limelight. Steve Acropolis for Brick, another one here tonight. Brick able to keep the puck in the Montclair zone here for much of the first half of the first period. 9:35 to go. No score. Good tight hockey game so far. Offsides against Brick, and a line change attempt, and Tom Kogan was caught offsides.
There's Bob Auriema. 430 career victories. The only 2 people that are close to him, Harvey Cohen from Chatham High School and John Warchall from Seton Hall. We're going to see the play in front. There's the first save. Now you see right there as he wards off the other player from Brick to keep him out of the zone, away from the goaltender, so he does not have a shot at that rebound.
Kogan and Reveley off the face, controlled and sent into the Montclair zone by the Green Dragons. Steve Acropolis. Shot saved by Hirschberg on the shot by Weesey. Jarvis with a wraparound, knocked away nicely by DeLuca. Montclair trying to get it. They finally clear out momentarily, but it's sent back in.
Good positioning by George DeLuca, the senior. He was parked right in front, taking the slot, and when that pass came centered, he was able to clear it out of the zone.
Acropolis cannot control. It's sent in. And Kogan regroups as Brick has a line change. 8:43 to go first period. No score. Steve Tober, Pete Caggiano from the Clary Anderson Arena. Montclair has only played 2 games in the last 10 days. They're pretty fresh. They had a game canceled. In fact, both teams had games canceled at Sportorama against St. Joseph Montville because of a fire up at that building, Pete.
That's correct, Steve. Just last weekend, there was a fire in the health club, which is adjacent to the ice rink, but they do have connecting walls supporting the building, and there was extensive damage.
Doug Rosa solos, loses control. Acropolis rides him off.
Nice play by Steve Acropolis, the freshman defenseman. That time he just stayed with the forward, forced him to the outside, and at the right time made a little poke check.
Going back, and now Kogan chases. Hollenbach comes one in, and it's finally cleared out. Brick with very offensive-minded defensemen like Brian Hollenbach, 10 goals. All of them very good skaters.
They realize it doesn't matter whether you win the game 2-1 or 9-8, as long as you score more than the other team. And the defenseman will take advantage and will try to make a break when they can get it.
An icing call against the Green Dragons as they try to make a line change and simply ice the puck. Montclair has won 3 state titles and 6 Gordon Cup crowns. They won 2 consecutive state titles, 87 and 88 under Bruce Parker. Won 3 straight Gordon Cups during that time. Their first state championship over Brick Township. 6-5 in overtime in 1981. Mike Zerillo with a winning goal. The late Don Eccleston unfortunately passed away just a year ago.
He was a great guy, Steve.
Terrific man. Tom Eccleston, his brother, was a fine hockey player. I believe he played briefly with the Boston Bruins, if I'm not mistaken. Tom Eccleston, who was a defenseman at Providence. Montclair able to dump it down to the Brick end of the ice with 7 minutes to go. First period, no score. Hard slapper off the boards by Hollenbach, but it works. Here comes Weesey. Weesey's knocked down. No penalty. And here comes Mike Reveley. Reveley with a big shot. Stopped by Kell.
Offsides on the play, Steve. I think Ryan Bailey got away with a hook down the other end. Weesey looked like he was going to split the defense. There we take a look at the young fella. He was going right down the middle for Brick, and then Ryan Bailey just gets his stick out. There you see, he's almost surprised that it opened up that way. Now watch the hook right there, tugs him a little.
Looks like he got away with one there, Pete.
A little bit of a dive, a little bit of a hook. Kyle Weesey, the sophomore, has 10 goals this year, 7 assists for 17 points, and he was looking for the call, but he did not get it.
This first line is getting a lot of ice time right now, and it's still early in the game. Brick is saddled a little bit depth-wise. Chuck Hogan, a regular left wing, is out with a back injury. Dan Dykeman is out with a wrist injury. 2 of their regular forwards, Eric Hoffman. So there is some problems with depth. Here's Brick's 5 state titles, 7 Gordon Cups. The last state title, 1990, 2-1 over Montclair. So these 2 teams have had a history of playing very close hockey games. 6:31 to go, first period, no score. Tom Kogan dumps it in as Peter Portis. Portis in O'Rourke back on D. Here's Kogan, wraparound shot, scores! Tom Kogan, and Brick takes a 1-0 lead with 6:16 remaining in the opening period.
That time Tom Kogan picked up the puck in the corner. He had started to come out in front of the net. He had another player out there. He used him as a decoy, put the puck in a wraparound and snuck it right through the legs. Here you're going to see the good forechecking by Brick. 2 men on the puck right there.
Number 7, Jason Jarvis, did a nice job there.
Now watch the wraparound attempt. Beautiful play. That time the Montclair defenseman was stranded and didn't know what to do. Tim O'Rourke, the sophomore, whether to go after the shooter or stay in the slot and protect for the pass. And he decided to stay in the slot, and that made the shooter come out clean, free and clear, and tuck the puck home for a 1-0 lead.
8:44, the time of the goal. 1-0 Brick on Tom Kogan's cash-in. Here's Reveley from the left side, kept in by Montclair. Reveley in front is warded off nicely by Acropolis. Cindy Acropolis now on with her brother. One of the few young ladies who skates a regular shift in New Jersey, Pete. Number 6, Cindy Acropolis, on as the regular second-line center for the Green Dragons. There we get a good look at Cindy.
There we take a look at her, and she's the granddaughter of the head coach, Bob Auriema.
Not bad to have 2 grandchildren skating for you. 1 young lady, 1 young man.
Quick score.
Here we're going to take a look at the play. Watch as she comes down the left wing. She can feel that guy coming behind her, so she slides it across. Looking for a winger on that right side, and then the centering pass is held on to by Scott Hirschberg.
Jason Jarvis, who made that great check on that goal, gets an assist. Here's a shot from the left wing by DeLuca, and a glove save by Kale. Jason Kale, just a sophomore in goal. for the Green Dragons.
Watch Cale on this save. He plays his position so well. Notice the left glove out covering that far side, and the shot was right into the glove, and he just holds on for the whistle. Just a sophomore, 4 wins, 5 losses this year. Goals against average at 3.88.
Off the face, Trevenin keeps it in as DeLuca chases. Acropolis. Worked free by Weesey. Montclair putting the pressure on. They're down 1-0, 5:15 to go, first period. Jarvis offsides as Weesey brought it down the left wing. Jarvis on the right side, a little over anxious.
Jarvis tried to drag his back leg. Weesey just a half a stride over on the left side and put the Dragons offside. That would have been a 2-on-1, and that was because the Montclair defenseman pinched at his blue line, giving Brick the opportunity to break in 2-on-1.
And Pete, in this early going, Montclair being outplayed in the first period, could it be a case maybe of Montclair being a little stale with only 2 games in 10 days? Brick maybe a little fresher, having just played 2 days ago?
That could have something to do with it, except the fact that Montclair skates just about every day in practice, so they should be ready for this game. They know how important it is.
Montclair's last victory 5 days ago against Toms River South, 9-0. As Haberbush loses control behind the net. Centering pass. Minard, Haberbush, and Volpe now on for the second line for Montclair as Hollenbach clears out. Could get an icing call, and we will, against Brick. Hollenbach simply wanted to clear that out to change momentum. He'll take the icing call.
Well, we spoke earlier about the different type of forechecking patterns that Montclair may put against Brick. That time, and this is all designed by Peter Herms, the head coach there, they did not go after the defenseman behind the net. Rather, the wingers stayed up on the boards, covering the Brick wingers who were waiting there for the passes, and the Brick defenseman had no choice other than to ice the puck.
We saw there a little graphic. Doug Rosa, number 18, second team all-league forward last year. There's Dougie, the captain, along with Reveille and DeLuca. And Rosa led the state in assists as a sophomore when Montclair played in the B division.
Very versatile skater. He'll be the one to take that chance and move up and try to sneak a goal if he can.
Kyle Weesey dumps it into the Montclair zone. Trevenin back. Slobber by Kogan is wide. Here comes Rosa across the Brick line. Is ridden off beautifully by Kogan. Rosa looking for a penalty.
Not on that play, Steve. That was a good defensive play. He got sandwiched between 2 players. He was looking for a penalty, but none called.
Trevenin from the right point, a soft shot. Reveille centers it. DeLuca unable to get a stick down. Trevenin sends it behind the goal. Good pressure here by the Mounties with 3:35 to go first period. Soft shot. Cale loses it momentarily, but coming back is Hollenbach. And again, he just fires it down ice. Another icing call. Kind of interesting strategy, taking the icing on the line changes just to get Montclair's momentum stopped momentarily.
Well, that's because Montclair's putting a lot of pressure on the Bricktown team. And here, take a look at Auriema. Watch some of this pressure. Here you're going to see the shot. This is earlier in that sequence that goes just wide.
Beautiful shot by Kogan.
Kogan stole that errant pass, and you see right there, you look at Scott Hirschberg.
Wow.
He's glad that shot went wide because he had no opportunity to stop that one.
Portis from the point, wide. Peter Portis, Tim O'Rourke in on defense now. Volpe, Minard, and Haberbush up front. Montclair's second line. Minard, a very talented sophomore. As O'Rourke, the big defenseman, worked free by Minard, and Cale falls on the puck. 3:04 to go, opening period, 1-0 Brick. On the goal by Tom Kogan with an assist from Jason Jarvis, 8:44 of the first period.
That time the Brick defenseman, the senior, Brian Hollenbach, did a great job forcing the Montclair forward to the outside, not allowing him to come to the net for the good shot.
Of course, Brick, the alma mater of current New Jersey Devil forward Jim Dowd. Here's Minard with a shot over the goal. Minor with a pretty good opportunity, but a lot of brick Green Dragon jerseys in front of him. Weesey tries to clear out. Tim O'Rourke regroups for the Mounties. Peter Portis chases for Montclair. As Brick makes a line change, John Wandress manages to keep it in. Little ragged skating patterns here by the Mounties here.
Well, they're trying sometimes just to get the puck over the red line and dump it in. As we mentioned earlier, only using 2 lines, they have to pace themselves.
Cindy Acropolis, John Wandress, Nick Iannello now out for Brick. On their second line, a big shot from the right point by Hollenbach. Slipped stick aside easily by Hirschberg. We're down to 2 minutes left in the opening period. 1-0 Brick. Cindy Acropolis. She goes in the corner with the big boys, and Portis knocks her away.
Steve, she's treated no different than any other player on the ice. If she has the puck, the opponent's going to take a piece of her.
And that's the way she wants it. Her granddad told me, Bob Auriema said, Cindy has played in the Brick Township Little Leagues, the PAL Leagues in Brick. She's quite a seasoned hockey player. She also has a brother, Steve, who's a very good defenseman. Their dad, Steve, played on the first Gordon Cup championship team at Brick back in 1974. And Wendy Acropolis, Bob's daughter, is their mother. Tim O'Rourke trying to clear it out. We're down to 1:11 to go in the first period.
Very good forechecking here by Brick, keeping the puck in the Montclair zone and working for good shots.
Here comes Mike Reveley. Potential 2-on-1. No, Reveley will take it himself. Centering pass. Bailey warded off beautifully by Steve Acropolis.
Acropolis took his man very nicely there and prevented him from getting a shot off.
Hollenbach. He centers. Shot. Nice save by Hirschberg as Jarvis got a shot. Probably the best save of the night for Hirschberg.
Absolutely, and the official lost side of the puck. That's why he blew the whistle. But Scott Hirschberg played the angle well. He stood his ground and forced the shooter to shoot right into his chest. He had no angle to shoot. There we see some of the action earlier. Watch as he goes to the outside. Now watch the move right there. A little bit of a poke check, and then 2 guys ride him off the play, so he can't get back into the play and can't center the puck as well.
35 seconds to go, opening period. Brick putting all kinds of pressure on the Mounties. Wandress in front as Hirschberg manages to cover up. John Wandress.
He's just a freshman, Steve, and he almost had a goal right there. That was a loose puck that happened to squirt free right in front of him. He immediately lunged for the puck, but Scott Hirschberg, the senior goaltender, was a little bit quicker and held on for the whistle.
Montclair with Portis and O'Rourke. Now they're going to send back their captain, Doug Rosa, on defense for O'Rourke as we get in the closing half minute of the opening period. Both to face Minert and Kogan. Hollenbach sends it in. Jarvis wraps around, knocked aside by Hirschberg. Jarvis still has it. Hollenbach. He sends it on. Hirschberg comes up with it. Kind of a folly floater. Deceptive shot by Hollenbach, and Hirschberg came up with a glove save.
A couple of things, Steve. As you mentioned, it was not a particularly hard shot, but Scott Hirschberg had lost his stick. And when a goaltender loses his stick, sometimes he loses some of his equilibrium because everything is in balance. There you see the floating shot. Now watch, he goes with the gauntlet as well as the blocker over the top and then falls on the puck for good measure.
Good composure for Scott Hirschberg as Montclair manages to clear out. There'll be an icing call, though, against the Mounties. We're down to 12 seconds left in the opening period. 1-0 Brick. Steve Tober, Pete Caggiano from the Montclair Clary Anderson Arena. This rink, which used to be an open rink on 4 sides, was enclosed about 15 years ago.
Steve, I can remember playing in this rink 20, 25 years ago. As you mentioned before, they had a roof on it. The lighting was poor. There's a train that goes by right outside the side door here.
As Hollenbach, pucks knocked aside. 4 seconds left in the period as Brick has been the dangerous team so far. And that is the end of the first period. Let's just keep it here for a minute, Pete, for some comments from you. I thought Brick skated very well in the opening 15 minutes.
I thought both teams skated very well. Brick scored the goal to take the 1-0 lead, but take nothing away from Montclair. I think both teams are right about where they want to be. By that I mean either team's within striking distance. Both teams, I'm sure the strategy is just stay close until we get to the third period and then pour it on.
Tom Cogan's goal at 8:44 from Jason Jarvis. 1-0 Brick. We'll take a timeout and be back with second period action right after this. And we're back at the Montclair Clary Anderson Arena. Between the first and second period, Steve Tober, Pete Caggiano. Let's take a look at the National Conference A-Division standing speed, and obviously CBA, the #1 team in New Jersey, 9-0-1 in the division. Montclair is second.
CBA is by far the class of the conference as well as the class of the state. Montclair, fine job in second place, and you see Brick down there at the bottom. And what we're seeing tonight are two teams in that National League A conference. And I was looking at the standings earlier, Steve. Of the top 15, the top 10 teams in the state, 7 are in this conference.
And Brick and Montclair potentially, as the 2 and 7 teams, could meet in the first round of the Gordon Cup playoffs. It is possible since all 8 teams make the Gordons now. It's now a single elimination tournament. The Van Cott Trophy goes to the National Conference B Division, Hanchin to the American Conference A, and McGinnis to the American Conference B. Ryan Bailey on the first line, and Mike Reveley is ridden off nicely by Weesey, and here comes Brick. Brian Hollenbach with a big shot is knocked down by Rosa. Montclair wants to get off to a little bit better start here than they did at the start of the first period. They trail 1-0 on the goal by Tom Cogan, 8:44 of the first period with an assist from Jason Jarvis.
Montclair should pick their game up a step here, Steve. A couple of reasons. One, this is their building. They know this building well. They practice here just about every day, and they play all their home games here. And Brick now, the excitement of traveling the 50 miles, you're a little pumped up at the beginning of the game. Let's see how they continue now in the second and third periods.
And Brick with quick line changes here. They'll get that first line back on the ice. Cogan, Jarvis, and Weesey battle in the corner with Minert and Volpe going at it. With the Brick skater, and the Green Dragons able to work it free. Jason Jarvis across the Montclair line. Jarvis sneaks in, just wide. Brick very patient.
Scott Hirschberg seemed a little bit, not nervous, but I don't think he was prepared for that shot. It surprised him.
It did seem to. And Pete, it seems Brick has better positional hockey at this point. They're just setting up their passes much more crisply.
What they're doing is they're playing position well, as you mentioned, Steve. The passes are not only head man, but also cross ice. They have the patience and they have the skill to make that tough pass.
There's a shot from the point. Here comes Haberbush, all alone, warded off though. Tom Haberbush coming in solo, but a nice defensive play.
That was the senior Brian Hollenbach who came back and did a great job back checking and just took a piece of the Montclair player, enough to knock him off the puck so he couldn't get the good shot off.
Randy Bray and Hollenbach back on defense for Brick as Reveley and DeLuca put the pressure on. Backhand, a score! Reveley from DeLuca, we're tied at 1.
That time DeLuca was able to pick up that bad pass. He slipped the puck over to Reveley, and with an open net, he popped it home for a 1-1 tie. This is excellent pass work. He comes off the good forechecking by Montclair. Just a nice play all around.
Reveley, number 8, with the assist by George DeLuca, number 13. And for Mike Reveley, his 20th goal of the season.
We'll take a look at this play. Watch as the puck is behind the net. The centering pass right there is misplayed a little bit. There you see it picked up. Now watch the slide right across to Reveley, left part of your screen, the right part of your screen. As he tucks it home, he's a left-handed shot. He was on the right wing. He had the whole net to shoot at, and he made no mistake about it.
2:59, the time of the goal, and Reveley wants more. Big shot from the left wing. Rebound Bailey. Warded off by the Green Dragons, and finally cleared out of the zone nicely by Nick Iannello. We'll have an icing call, though, against the Green Dragons.
That time Jake Cale, the sophomore goaltender, dodged the bullet. He made a great save on Reveille. However, the rebound came right out in front, but Montclair could not convert that free and loose puck right in front of the net, and Brick dodged the bullet by icing the puck. There we take a look at the young fellow.
Good shot at Reveille, his 20th goal of the season. DeLuca picks up his 7th assist as Peter Herms talks to his senior tri-captain, one of the best forwards in the National Conference, Mike Reveille. Montclair, much more energetic here to start the second period, tying the game at 1-1. 11:13 to go, second period. Peter Portis dumps it back into the Brick zone. As Montclair gets its second line out. Brindley, Haberbush, and Minor. O'Rourke with a hard shot, the big defenseman.
Steve Montclair has to get those shots on goal. Those shots 6 and 7 feet high that go over the net do absolutely no good.
And I think that's one thing that Peter Herms would like to see over the second half of the season, Pete, is better quality shots by this second line that doesn't quite get off the shots that that first line gets off.
It doesn't matter how hard it is. If it's not on goal, it won't count.
Skylar Minor skates in, and he's ridden off. How many times have we seen that so far, where the Brick defenseman has ridden off the Montclair forward very well? There's Brick with a breakaway. Jarvis can't get off a decent shot. Really ended up being more of a 2-on-1. It was a semi-breakaway as Portis.
Well, Steve, credit Tom Haberbush, the senior forward, for lunging back and just knocking that centering pass away, preventing the Brick player from having that 2-on-1 completed.
As the puck goes into the box. Montclair won its first state title in 1981, defeating Brick 6-5 in overtime. That was at the Men and Ice Arena. Mike Zarillo had the winning goal. Don Eccleston, as we mentioned, the late Don Eccleston was the head coach.
Now watch Brick on the outside here. Watch the dive right there. You see it? He dives head first, just gets a piece of the puck, preventing it from being centered. Great defensive play.
And Montclair still with that second line out, being rather efficient here with 9:55 to go in the second period. Matt Trevenin sends one off the boards and actually sends it over. Did not want to do that.
Steve, I have a little trivia question for you. Earlier you had mentioned Jim Dowd. He is the first fellow ever to graduate in New Jersey high school and play in the NHL. But who was the first person to graduate in New Jersey high school and skate in an NHL game?
Max Middendorf, St. Joe's of Montville?
No. The key to the question was skating in an NHL game.
Oh, okay.
Pat DiPuzzo, the NHL linesman, back in 1982, had his first NHL game. And he was the first player to graduate in New Jersey high school. Of course, as a player, Jim Dowd, the first and only player to graduate in New Jersey high school and play in the NHL.
Actually, Middendorf never graduated from St. Joe's.
No, he didn't. He attended there, but he did not graduate from there.
As we saw a good effort there by Scott Hirschberg, covering up for the Mountings. 9:33 to go, second period, we're tied at 1.
Good pressure here by Brick. Nice centering pass, quick shot. That time you see Hirschberg go down in that butterfly type stance with the pads extended on either side, and he holds on for the whistle.
And Cindy Acropolis out to take the face-off with Mike Reveille. Hollenbeck has the puck knocked down. Mike Reveille skates in, 2-on-1. Centering pass for DeLuca. Puck in front, Bailey shoots. And Cale able to cover up. Ryan Bailey was right at the doorstep as that puck sailed in front. Jason Cale lost sight of that puck momentarily.
That time, Reveille here, as he picks up the puck right at his own blue line, but what happens once he gets in the zone, he uses the skater in the middle as a decoy, takes a shot, but nobody knows where the puck ends up. Watch what happens here. You think he's going to pass, instead he shoots. It hits Cale up in the shoulder area, and nobody knows where it is. It drops right in front.
Bailey actually fanned on the first shot.
Because it was bouncing. He did what he's supposed to do, kept his stick right on the ice, but his stick went right underneath the puck as it happened to be bouncing about 4 or 5 inches up above, and it cost him a great opportunity to put Montclair ahead.
Oh, Montclair putting the pressure on here. Reveille's goal at 2:59 of the period has tied the game at 1-1. We're down to 9:05 to go in the second period. Here's Reveille once again, this time from the right side. Is warded off nicely by Hollenbeck.
Steve, we have an injured Brick player down in the corner.
Looks like Tom Cogan, number 16, shaken up.
The junior forward, he went head first into the boards as two players were jockeying as they went into the corner, and they got their skates and sticks tangled up a little bit, and Tom Cogan went head first. And I don't think it's serious, but they'll come out and take a look at him.
I want to remind our fans, between the second and third period, we'll have on Charles Volpe, the president of the Montclair High Hockey Boosters Club, as a special guest, talking about a pregame ceremony, a very special pregame ceremony, where the jersey of the late Montclair High captain David Greenwald, jersey number 9, was retired. David, unfortunately, passed away with his mom, Marcia, in a tragic auto accident last May, coming back from Boston University. And we mourn the passing of Marcia and David, and the Mountie Hockey Boosters, in honoring David's spirit, have retired his jersey number 9. It will no longer be worn. And we'll talk to Charlie about that, and also about the upsurge in Montclair hockey this season under Peter Herms. And Peter Herms comes from a great hockey background, as we see Cogan get up, Pete Caggiano. Peter Herms, so you know R.W. Herms, fine hockey mind.
Steve, I'll share a little bit of old-time hockey lore with you. Back in 1973 and 74, at the Branchbrook Ice Center, which is no longer around, used to be in Branchbrook Park, right by Orange Street, they used to have what they affectionately called the Cocktail League. And they called that because there was a lot of businessmen who would come and play hockey from 12 to 2 o'clock. And some of the fellows used to play, Peter Herms' father, Peter, Joe Hannebeck, John Oswald, Paul McGinnis, John Warchel, Tony Del Tufo. These are guys that are hockey legends here in New Jersey, and started and all played way back in the 60s at South Mountain Arena for the New Jersey Rockets. And I'm talking way before the Devils, way before the Flyers, the Islanders, when it was either the Rangers or the Rockets. That was it.
Well, those are two of the great names. As the puck is in front, unable to get his stick down there on the rebound was Haberbusch, as Cale covers up. But you talk about two of the great names, Paul McGinnis, John Warchel, who are both have a lot of interaction with today. Paul's the secretary-treasurer of the New Jersey Interscholastic Hockey League, and John Warchel, of course, the great hockey coach at Seton Hall Prep, as we see here on the replay.
Montclair again putting a lot of pressure on, crashing that nice save right there.
Now,
great save by Cale.
So Haberbusch trying to get the backhand, they're down and unable to get.
Sometimes, Steve, it's tougher to score when you're in that close, because you don't have a chance to lift the puck, you don't have a chance to pick an angle. You know you have to whack at it quickly, because if you don't, somebody's going to pounce on you.
And Tommy Haberbusch, an outstanding outfielder for the Mountie baseball team, teammate of DeLuca, who's a third baseman, and Rosa, who's a shortstop. There comes Kyle Weesey with Brick. Brick has been very quiet in the Montclair zone here in the second period, and offsides against the Green Dragons here with 8:28 to go in the second period. We've had no penalties either, Pete.
Game's a very clean game. Well, you expect this out of these two teams, both very well coached, very well disciplined teams. We keep mentioning Brian Hollenbeck and Mike Reveille. I'm sure those two players will be skating on March 25th, which will be the All-Star game, the senior All-Star game, played out of the Menin Arena this year, and we hope to bring you that game right here on TV3.
TV3 will bring you the public and the overall state championships. Here's Cogan, fights with Rosa all on the boards. Good physical, clean hockey. DeLuca and Jarvis going at it. It's finally worked free to DeLuca. But Jarvis dumps it back in. 7:55 to go second period. We're tied at 1. There's Reveille again. Slips.
That time, Steve, you tried to do a little bit too much. It was a 1-on-3. Instead of either passing or shooting, you tried to go through all three guys, and he was stripped of the puck.
Ryan Bailey keeps it in, but an offsides against the Mounties. 7:30 to go second period. Here we see Bob Auriema. He won the first NJSIA state tournament in 1976, defeating Chatham Township. That was an overtime game. And Brick's first state title. Bob, who played football at Memorial West New York, where Warren Wolf, the current Brick head football coach, was an assistant. And Bob went vacationing down in the Brick area through the urging of Warren Wolf and decided to move down there, become the hockey coach, as Jason Kale covers up. So Bob, really a Hudson County guy, Pete. Memorial West New York. Also Dick Strata, the Toms River East coach, went to Memorial West New York.
Well, that explains why Auriema is the way he is behind the bench. If you've ever refereed one of his games, he is constantly talking to the officials, always trying to get an edge. Every call that's made, he never yells, never screams at you, but just asks, why did you do it? And how come this happened? And why didn't you do this? Just trying to get his team a little bit of an advantage anytime he can.
In his 29th season, amazing, 430 victories. Number 15, Jeremy Dykeman, a freshman, a little guy getting a shift now for Brick as Tom Haberbush comes across into the Brick zone for Montclair. Haberbush with an attempted wraparound, and everybody falls on top of Kale.
Steve, that's pretty much the secret what a defenseman will do. If a forward is crashing in on his goaltender, what you will do, you will ride him from behind right up and over your goaltender to take him out of the play. And if you watch, that's exactly what happens. Watch as the puck comes from behind the net. That's Tom Haberbush, the senior, as he tries to send it. And right there, you see the check being thrown, and everybody goes on top of Jake Kale, the sophomore goaltender.
This Brick team, very young. They skate 5 freshmen, including Steve Acropolis, the grandson of Bob Auriema, as one of the first defensemen, John Wandrus, Jeremy Dykeman, Nick Iannello on a second line. It's a very young team.
And they only have 6 seniors on that Brick squad. So 5 freshmen, 6 seniors. It's quite diverse.
Trevenin skates back and sends it along the far boards, trying to get it out, but kept in the Montclair zone. Kogan and Weesey, and finally worked 3 by the Mounties. Reveley takes a nice hit from Hollenbach, a good clean check.
Hollenbach that time did a great job just getting in Reveley's way, not allowing him to advance. It looked a lot worse than what it was.
6:05 to go, second period. We're tied at 1. Terrific hockey game here in the Black and Blue Division, the National Conference A Division, the best division of ice hockey in the state of New Jersey. Brick has lost 3 games by 1 goal. They come in at 4-6. Montclair 5-3-1. But both these teams have played very close games. Very competitive teams, despite the disparate 1-loss records.
And Steve, teams must have at least a 500 record by the certain date in January to qualify for the state tournament.
And Reveley once again warded off by Steve Acropolis. Good defense by Hollenbach, Acropolis, Randy Bray for Brick. Hollenbach dumps it into the Montclair zone as Hirschberg will leave it for Rosa. Jason Jarvis for Kogan, and here's Haberbush. 5 minutes to go in the second period.
Steve noticed that anytime somebody has the puck or they just release the puck, an opponent will step in his way. Not necessarily knocking him down, but stepping in his way, slowing him down, not allowing him to regain the play.
Hogan with a big shot. Hirschberg loses control, and it slips behind the goal. Very fortunate, Hirschberg, that puck went through the crease. It was a big shot wide from the right point by Acropolis. Brick coming alive here a little bit more in the latter part of the second period.
Scott Hirschberg went down rather quickly on that shot, and the puck almost went over his head. He stuck up the glove, got a piece of it, but it just trickled behind him and just wide.
Volpe clears out. Be an icing call against the Mounties.
That time the Mounties just looking to get rid of the puck. A lot of pressure by Brick, looking to stop play. There we take a look at Scott Hirschberg, the senior.
He has a freshman brother, Lauren, as we see.
Watch the shot, it's high. Now he goes down quickly. It goes off the top of his glove, and it just trickles right behind him right there. For Montclair's sake, thank God that just went wide. But I tell you, Hirschberg had enough sense. Watch as he lunges and just clears the puck. He knows he can't reach it to hold on to it, to pounce on it, but he can reach it with his stick enough to knock it in the corner, and that's what he did. Great recovery.
That's the thing about Hirschberg, is a 3-year starter. He's become a good high school goalie, and he's a very bright young man, and he's very patient and composed, as we saw there. And earlier, he made a nice save when he lost his stick.
Steve, all players, especially at this level, are going to make mistakes. The big thing is, what do you do when you make a mistake? How do you recover? How do you make up for it? And there we saw a great play by Scott Hirschberg.
We're down to 3:43 to go in the second period. Interesting aspect for Montclair, 3 brother combinations on the varsity. J.P. Reveley, a freshman, and Mike Reveley, the senior forward. Dean Portis, a backup goalie. Peter Portis, a defenseman. Scott Hirschberg, a goalie. Lauren Hirschberg, a freshman forward. Haberbush in that second line, actually a combination line because Bailey is out there now. He's usually one of the wings on the first line. Centering pass by Weesey. Jarvis with a backhander and unable to get his stick down.
Steve, that was a pass. Maybe he should have shot the puck, but he was looking for a teammate on the other wing. A little too fancy that time.
We're down to 3 minutes. Jarvis. Acropolis, rebound. Good pressure by the Green Dragons. They keep it in the Montclair zone. We're down to 2:43 to go in the second period. Weesey. Good stick handling by Weesey. Centering pass. And here comes Reveley. 2-on-1 for the Mounties. Brindley. Whoa. He's warded off by Acropolis. Zach Brindley. And back in the neutral zone, Tim O'Rourke, the big defenseman, dumps it in. Line changes for both teams. O'Rourke passes to Minor, who tries to make a pretty pass to Brindley, but might have been better off taking the shot.
Well, Steve, he was almost behind it. He really didn't have an angle. He did not have anybody in front, so the better play might have been to hold on to it for a second or two more, but he couldn't shoot from where he was.
That second line will get better with their quality shots as they skate more together. Here's Minert on the left wing. Minert centers, and Kale falls on the puck with 1:34 to go in the second period.
Minert tried something very interesting there. He was coming down his off wing, and you could tell he was tired because he was lumbering as he came down the left side, and what he tried to do was just chip the puck in front. He didn't shoot it real hard. He didn't try to center it. Notice right there, see it up in the air, takes 1 bounce, 2 bounces, and right there, the goaltender, Jake Kale, holds on, but that could have been real dangerous for Brick.
1:34 to go. Tom Cogan put Brick on top at 8:44 of the first period with an assist from Jason Jarvis, 1-0 Brick. But then Mike Reveley, 2:59 of the second from George DeLuca. Reveley's 20th goal of the season. We've been tied at 1. Off the face, the puck goes over the glass.
Steve, actually, I think Jake Kale got a piece of that because they'll keep the face-off inside. Here we take a look at Peter Herms. Now, he's got some work to do in between the second and third period here. His boys have played well. They kept it close. It's still anybody's game. We're 1:30 short of 2 complete periods, and the score is tied. So both teams have to be happy where they are. However, now the question comes in, who's going to step it up for the third period?
Trevenin dumps it back in, and Hollenbeck and Cogan try to regroup for the Green Dragons. Cogan sends it all the way down. Reveley and Rosa tripped up. We're going to get a penalty here. It looked like Acropolis tripped up Doug Rosa.
Good penalty to take, and very lucky it wasn't a penalty shot. In fact, I think that's what Peter Herms is asking right now, because his player was in all by himself with no one to beat except the goaltender, and he was taken down from behind by Randy Bray.
Actually, 4 is Steve Acropolis. Acropolis and Bray switched jerseys before the game, 4 and 21.
Here we see the play. Now watch the dive right there, taking his skates out, never getting the shot off. That could have been grounds for a penalty shot. However, our official Tim Walls decided to call it a trip, and now with just a 1:03 left to go here in the second period, Montclair, a big power play. Here's their chance to take a lead. There we take a look at Doug Rosa, excellent player.
Brick very fortunate, Pete. As you say, a very, very smart penalty by Acropolis, the freshman defenseman for Brick. That could have been a sure goal by Rosa. Nothing's ever a sure goal, but Rosa was right at the doorstep, and he's an experienced player. He could have put one over the young netminder for Brick. Montclair on the power play. Portis and Rosa on defense. Rosalie, DeLuca, and Bailey up front in the power play opportunity for Montclair, which will ride over into the second period. DeLuca tries to kick it in, and Kale falls on it with 29 seconds to go in the second period. A minute 26 on the tripping penalty to Acropolis.
Good job by Brick keeping Montclair on the outside, forced them to keep the puck in the corner. It came back to the point, they got one shot off, but again the defenseman tied up the Montclair forward and prevented him from shooting a rebound shot.
On the face, Kogan and Reveille to the left of Jake Kale.
Just 29 seconds, Steve, here left in the second period.
Portis. DeLuca comes in. Knocked away by Kale. Good opportunity by the Mounties. We're down 18 seconds.
Great give and go, but that time Kale made a tremendous save point blank.
Rosa behind the net. Here's Reveille. We're down to 7 seconds. Portis. Slapper. Knocked down. Backhander. Rosa scores!
I'm not sure if it was right at the buzzer. I think they will count it. I think the puck went in just before the buzzer went off. Some of the Brick players complaining that the puck was kicked, but it was not. And I'm almost confident they're going to count this one, and they will, because that puck did enter the goal a split second before the horn went off.
Oh,
what a way to end the second period. Watch it. Here's the center pass. Watch right in front, the left-hand part of your screen, and right there he beats Jake Kale up over the shoulder just as time is expiring. A mild protest by Brick. Bob Auriema pleading his case, but to no avail. Tim Walls is allowing the goal. There you see Auriema really upset, but the puck was not kicked in. The pass was kicked across, but the shot was taken with the stick, and now this changes the entire complexion of the game as we have a 2-1 score after 2.
A lot of excitement. We'll take a break. Be back with our between period interview right after this. In the second and third period, Montclair leading Brick 2-1. Steve Tober with Charles Volpe, the president of the Montclair Hockey Club Boosters. And Charlie, it's been a very good season for Mountie hockey.
An excellent season. We're extremely pleased with the job that Peter Herms has done. He's totally turned the program around. The kids have the utmost respect for him. They play hard for him. And, we're just looking for greater things, in time to come. So, and hopefully typical Montclair goal, last seconds, to pull us ahead.
Almost a controversial goal by Doug Rosa, but it came with 14:59 of the second to put the Mounties up 2-1. Now, Charles, before the game, we had a very moving ceremony. The retirement of jersey number 9, worn by David Greenwald, one of the tri-captains of the 1990-91 team.
Yes.
Now, tell us about this important occasion.
Well, David and his mom were taken from us in a tragic auto accident this past May. And, hockey is a family sport in a way, and anyone who's involved in it would know this. From the time they're little ones, they're depending on mom and dad to get them to the rink, the 6 o'clock practices, the 5 o'clock practices on Sunday, etc. And the Greenwald family, they exemplified everything that was good about the sport. Bruce Greenwald was instrumental in getting that locker room built. And David, he was your typical hockey kid. He was fun-loving. He participated in the hockey club. Matter of fact, 4 boys on this 95 team played with David on in-house in the Montclair Hockey Club. Volpe, Rosa, Hirschberg, and DeBliss.
It was a very moving ceremony. Doug Rosa, the last player to wear number 9, he now wears number 18.
Yes.
He came out, handed the jersey to John Kidden, who was a tri-captain, along with David Greenwald on the 1990-91 team. And it was a nice ceremony. Bruce Greenwald, David's dad, was on hand. An important occasion and a way to remember his spirit.
Yes, definitely, very definitely. And I just want to add, too, that Brian Felber was the other tri-captain. Brian had to go back to school last week, or he definitely would have been here. He had called me and told me.
Of course, David, a junior on the 90 team, which lost to Brick 2-1. The next year they came back, dropped a tough decision to Del Barton in the semifinals.
Yes.
Montclair hockey back in the limelight again in 1995. But Charles,
Definitely.
you're a hockey observer. Can anybody beat CBA this year?
We tied them, so we have the potential of beating them. And actually, one of their goals was a very soft goal. We should have come out of that with a win.
Well, we'll see what happens in the public and parochial state tournaments. Will it be the Mounties in 95, and will they win tonight? I see you have an item here, Charles.
Yes, Steve, this is for you.
Oh, well, thank you, Charles.
Right.
A Montclair ice hockey hat. Compliments of the boosters. I appreciate it, and thank you, Charles.
All right, and thank you for everything that you've been doing for us in the paper, promoting the program. The kids love it. They appreciate it. They feel that they're really part of the community now and that they're back.
And thanks to TV3 for being here tonight. We're enjoying hockey here. Montclair leading Brick 2-1. We'll be set with third period action right after this. And back at the Montclair Clary Anderson Arena as we get ready for the third period. Montclair leading 2-1 over Brick. And Pete, a very, very up-tempo second period. Although Brick outshot Montclair 14-6, the Mounties scored twice.
And we'll get to that last goal later, but let's take a look at how the scoring started. There you're going to see good forechecking by
Jarvis.
Brick. That's Jarvis riding Portis off the puck, and that time Kogan comes in with a wraparound, and he beats Scott Hirschberg.
That was Kogan's 15th goal of the season at 8:44 of the first, and Montclair came back in the second period.
This play is really made by DeLuca. Watch as he slips the puck across. He has a wide open Reveille on the off wing, pounces the puck by Kale, and that gave Montclair a 2-1 lead.
That tied things 1-1 on the Reveille goal, 2:59 of the second, but here they went ahead.
This is the action in front. There's a shot that hits
That was when
Kale on the shoulder. Nobody knows where it is. Now watch the Brick defenseman just take out the Montclair forwards as they stand behind. Here's the goal at the end of the period. Here's where you see all the commotion happening. The left-hand part of your screen, you saw Rosa sneak over there, and just as he let that puck go, it entered the net and time expired. And right at the buzzer, Montclair took the 2-1 lead. There you see a very happy Rosa.
Rosa's goal at 14:59 of the second period gives the Mounties a 2-1 lead. We take a look at Montclair's first 9 games this year. They have victories, as you see, the first 5 games. Seton Hall 6-5 to open things up. St. Joe's 5-3. They scored 3 goals in the third period in that game. 2 wins over Don Bosco. A 9-0 rout of Toms River South. Their only loss, they lost to Toms River North 4-2. And then they have 3 ties. CBA 2-2. Reveille with a late goal with 2:11 left to tie that one. Seton Hall 2-2. I was at that game. Reveille scored with 50 seconds left to tie the Pirates. And then they also tied St. Joe's Metuchen just 10 days ago, 5-5. So the Mounties have played a lot of nip and tuck games.
Well, their big game, the game they have coming up on February 8th against CBA, that time it'll be away at CBA's home rink. That should be a hell of a game.
That should be an excellent game after their 2-2 tie earlier in the season. And here's Brick at 4-6. And they've played a lot of one-goal games. You see their victories, their 4 victories on top. Toms River North, 8-2, a team Montclair lost to. Seton Hall, Brick Memorial out of the division. Heightstown, a public school out of Mercer County in the Colonial Valley Conference, 8-4. And then losses Seton Hall, 3-2. They were blown out their only time by CBA 7-1. Close losses to St. Joe's Montvale, St. Joe's Metuchen, Don Bosco. One of those goals was an empty netter. And then they lost this past Thursday, 2 days ago, 8-5 to St. Joe's Montvale. They're 4-6, but a very competitive 4-6.
Steve, not one team in that whole list is a slouch team. Every one of those teams are in the top 15 of the North Star Ledgers poll.
Now in the first 2 periods, Brick has outshot the Mounties 21-18, including that 14-6 edge in the second period. But the Mounties on that goal by Doug Rosa, his 6th of the season, with 1 second, according to the timekeeper, left. I thought it went right at the buzzer. That's given the Mounties a 2-1 lead.
But you recorded it in the book at 59 of the period.
And Mike Reveille had his 20th goal earlier in the period with an assist from George DeLuca. Tom Kogan, his 15th for Brick, to give them the 1-0 lead in the first period.
But Steve, you have to think about Doug Rosa on that play. First of all, he's a defenseman. Second of all, he realizes with 4 or 5 seconds to go, no way is Brick going to be able to come down the length of the ice. So why stay at the point, crash the net? That's exactly what he did. But again, instead of going where all the activity was, he went to the opposite side, the far side, hoping that the puck would squirt loose to him. And that's exactly what it did. And he pounced on it, and right at the buzzer gave Montclair the 2-1 lead.
As we get set for the third period face-off, Tom Kogan, number 16 in the green. Mike Reveley, number 8 in the white. We'll have to face Hollenbach. Taken off, though, by Dougie Rosa. Big shot! Saved by Kale. Doug Rosa, 2 years ago, led the state in assists. His line mates that season, George DeLuca and Mike Reveley, they've skated together for 4 years. That's got to help.
And it shows. It shows tonight, Steve. That time, Jake Kale played the shot well, came out, broke down the angle. It was a hard shot. He caught it up in the right shoulder, but he was able to hold on for the whistle.
Reveley and Kogan to the right of Kale. Want to give a plug to the Montclair High Hockey Band under director Jim Wasco. They provide music, the national anthem, and other tunes throughout the evening here at the Clary Anderson Arena. Big shot wide by Rosa. .14:28 to go, third period, 2-1. The Mounties lead the Brick Green Dragons. Along the near boards, DeLuca trying to work it free along with Jarvis, and then we get a whistle. We'll have a face-off.
Well, Steve, a few things we have to look at. The boys rested for about 12 minutes, so that should give them a little additional energy. Plus, the ice was resurfaced, so now we have a very fast surface out there. We'll take a look at some of the pressure here by Montclair as the puck comes out to the point. Now watch, he doesn't bother to tee it up on the fly. That's a quick shot right there by Doug Rosa, and it goes just wide of Jake Kale.
Centering pass by Volpe in front. The son of Charles Volpe, who we interviewed between the second and third periods. C.J. Volpe, number 5. The senior left wing on the second line for the Mounties. And Pete, could Brick be a little frustrated here coming into the third period? Here they outshot Montclair in the second period 14-6, and Bob Auriema's team still gave up 2 goals and trails 2-1.
Well, that's going to happen when you play against a good team. Good teams don't look for a lot of chances. They just make the most of the chances they get, and that's what Montclair has done.
The Brick skated very well. They were very fast off the gate in the first period, took that 1-0 lead. Montclair, a little lackluster in the first period, came out very strong in the second period and had quality shots. 2 goals among those 6 shots. There's Jarvis. Weesey loses control, and here come the Mounties. DeLuca with Rosa. Warded off nicely.
That time DeLuca maybe a little bit too generous, looking for Rosa in the slot. He should have taken the shot. He had a clear shot on the right side.
Both teams at full strength. Acropolis' penalty ran out at the start of the third period. Acropolis tripping up Rosa. Of course, the goal scored by Montclair knocked off that penalty. But it was a good penalty.
Oh, that's what he had to take. He had to take that one, Steve. That's exactly so. That's what you call a good penalty. He prevented a scoring opportunity by taking that penalty, and that's the only penalty we've had all night.
An icing call against the Mounties. 13-12 to go, third period. Hope you're enjoying high school hockey on TV3. Steve Tober, Pete Caggiano, and a good house, good full crowd here at the Clary Anderson Arena.
Steve, this place still and always will amaze me. Today it is January the 14th. It was 63 degrees outside. It is cold in this building.
And people have their winter coats on, bundled up.
You need winter coats in this building. Even the dog is cold. Look
the Bulldog, the Mounties are officially the Bulldogs, although nobody calls them the Bulldogs. They are the Mounties. Here comes Ryan Bailey, 2-on-1 for Montclair. Acropolis with a beautiful play.
Acropolis got away with one right there. By that I mean he took the shooter rather than the pass. The rule of thumb is you leave the shooter to the goaltender, and you as a defenseman on a 2-on-1 take the open man. That time Acropolis dove and was able to block the pass.
Yeah, decent spacing though, Pete. When he dove, he managed not to cause a penalty and made it and knocked the puck away.
Well, he took a gamble and he won. Right there you see him dive head first, extending not only the stick in his body, covering about 14 feet of space, and he did a great job. It worked. If he misses that,
he's a dead man.
Steve Acropolis, the grandson of Bob Auriema. Very impressive freshman defenseman for Brick. Cindy Acropolis off the face. Hard shot warded away by Hirschberg.
Difficult shot, Steve. Shots that come right off the face-off like that, where the goaltender doesn't have a chance to judge the velocity or the angle of the shot, sometimes are difficult to handle. And Hirschberg did a nice job on that one.
Peter Portis dumps it in. Knocked down by Randy Bray. Brick with their second line. Wandress, Iannello, and Cindy Acropolis centering. Cindy Acropolis, one of 3 girls in North Jersey playing varsity hockey. Shanna Henderson, a backup goalie for Summit. Laura Pryor, Verona, skates. Cranford has a couple of JV girls playing in that successful program. A shot by Kogan, knocked away nicely by Hirschberg.
Steve, I think that hit the post. If I'm not mistaken, my ears heard that ping of the puck hitting the post as it got by Hirschberg. Beautiful setup by Brick on that play.
And that's the second time Kogan almost found that left-hand upper corner on Hirschberg. That time, as you say, appeared to hit iron.
Shooting high to the stick side. A good slap shot, probably about 3 feet up. And we'll take a look at this one. Watch as the pass is centered right there. Nice, easy, soft pass. He one-times the shot. If we can see it, I can't see it on the replay, but I heard it when it happened. I heard that
You
ping
might be right, because that puck
you hear.
came flying back almost straight, which would mean it would hit iron, hit that cage. Holland back with a big shot, knocked down by Trevenin, and Hirschberg covers up.
Again, that time the puck was deflected by a defenseman. It was taking that funny bounce. It was skipping. Take no chances. Just fall on the puck and hold on for the whistle.
2 very good freshman defensemen going at it tonight on the first lines for each team. Matt Trevenin, number 11 for Montclair. Steve Acropolis, number 4 for Brick. We'll see a lot of them for the next 4 years in the New Jersey Interscholastic Hockey League.
There we take a look at Cindy Acropolis, the junior forward. She's doing a fine job, not only tonight, but all year for Brick.
Of course, Claudine Petruka, Verona, started in goal for 2 seasons for the Hillbillies, led them to state tournaments both years. But to have a girl skating a regular shift is unusual, although that'll probably change in the next years. You'll see more young ladies playing high school hockey and being more prime-time players. DeLuca, centering pass for Rosa, backhander stopped by Kale.
What a shot by Rosa. He waited for that pass to skip through as it was bouncing, then on his backhand let a shot go. But Jake Cale stood his ground, covered the angle, and made the save. Outstanding play on both sides.
Rosa, the defenseman, spending a lot of time up front, and this time it gives a 2-on-1 opportunity. Kogan to Jarvis. Jarvis comes in, backhander. Knocked behind the net. Nice save by Hirschberg, and he covers up. Good work by the senior netminder for the Mounties.
End-to-end action. First we had the great save by Jake Cale, and then as you mentioned, Rosa was in deep. Montclair was caught up. Brick came out the other side, and this time it was Scott Hirschberg on a 2-on-1 making the great save to keep Montclair in the lead.
Jason Jarvis, who had an assist on Kogan's first period goal.
There's the bouncing puck. The backhand, great save there by Jake Cale as he slid across with the, not only the legs spread apart, but the stick was down in between his pads to prevent the little 5-hole from being open.
Acropolis dumps it in deep and over the glass. 10:34 to go, third period. 2-1 Montclair leading Brick. High school hockey on TV3.
Now here we see the rush the other way. Watch the pass, takes it on the backhand. He's trying to tee it up quick. Look at the left leg, how quick that was. Scott Hirschberg stuck out the left leg, made the save, and more importantly, he forced the the puck to go in the corner, and then when the centering pass came out, he smothered it and held on for a whistle.
Minor's shot is knocked down and warded aside by Acropolis, who loses his stick momentarily and gets it back. Montclair's second line with Minor centering for Haberbush and Brindley. Offsides against the Mounties.
Steve, did you see what he did when he lost his stick? He batted the puck with his hand, and you can do that in your defensive zone without causing a stoppage. If he was in center ice or the attacking zone, he can't do that. Many players forget that when you're in your defensive zone, you can hand pass the puck to a teammate. You can hand pass to the opponent in any zone, but in your defensive zone, you can hand pass to a teammate.
Looking ahead on Time In with Paul Spahala. Legalized sports gambling, the debate over it. Louis Bassano, a state senator, will be one of Paul's guests. Monday at 6:30 live, and Saturday's a repeat at 12 noon. All on Time In. I know in a couple of weeks, Paul's going to discuss parochial sports with John Finnegan, Debbie Malmgren of Mount St. Dominic, Joe Walsh of Seton Hall Prep, their athletic director, John Finnegan, the athletic director, head football coach at Immaculate. That's 2 weeks in the future on Time In. But this week, sports gambling, a very hotly debated topic. Should they bring gambling to Atlantic City and New Jersey like they have in Vegas? We'll find out on Time In.
And Steve, just this past week, Paul had Bert Sugar.
Exactly. Great guest.
The boxing aficionado, and that was a tremendous show this past week.
Bert Sugar, one of the all-timers in boxing. 9:27 to go, third period. Montclair clean to their 2-1 lead. Rosa. Dougie, a good skater, takes it in across the brick line. Still has it, slips for Reveley. Shot knocked away by Kale.
Steve, tough shot for Reveley because he was flat-footed. He was standing still. Rosa made a nice play to dance around everybody and leave the puck for him. However, Reveley had no momentum.
Reveley with a big shot off the glass. Bailey fights along with Ianello. Bailey wards it free, but Hollenbach comes off with the Green Dragons on the rush. Big shot wide. 8:38 to go, third period. We'll have to wait till the postseason for our overtimes in Gordon Cup and State Tournament when they have 8-minute overtime. Tonight we'll just play the regulation 45 minutes. Centering pass, backhander by Hogan. Knocked aside by Hirschberg. Great opportunity for the Green Dragons.
Great save by Scott Hirschberg. That shot almost beat him to the short side. Again, using that left toe, made the save.
Back at neutral ice, Randy Bray sends it over to Hollenbach. 7:57 to go, third period. Terrific hockey game. National Conference A Division action. There's only been one penalty. That a tripping call on Acropolis led to the Rosa power play goal at the end of the second period, which has given Montclair its lead. Rosa sends it down, but Hollenbach is there. Cindy Acropolis on. Montclair would love to get an insurance goal.
They sure would, Steve. The question now is, what kind of forechecking is Montclair going to use? We talked about it earlier that sometimes they use that real pressing forechecking. Sometimes they lay back and leave the defenseman alone behind the net, but pick up all the wingers and pick up the center who's circling in the slot area. And they do that to give themselves a rest because you can't play that persevering style for 45 minutes when you're only rotating 6 forwards.
It's been an adjustment period for the Mounties under Peter Herms. He's a fine young coach coming in from Tabor Academy. Had him an assistant at Princeton University, great playing experience in the pros in college. But it takes some time for him to get used to his players and for the players to get used to him.
Absolutely, and you have to realize these are only high school kids. They are 15, 16, 17 years old. That's all they are.
We're down to 7:05 to go, third period. Skylar Meinert. He's warded off by Hollenbach, who sends it out to Jason Jarvis. A Jarvis-Kogan-Weesey combination on the first line, a dangerous one for Brick. From the right point, Acropolis sends one wide. Hollenbach, he's a very offensive-minded defenseman, 10 goals on the season. He had two nights ago against St. Joseph Montfield, and an 8-5 loss for the Green Dragons.
Steve, I was waiting to see what happened. The Brick defenseman crashed that right side there, trying to keep the puck in the zone, and the junior forward, Tom Kogan, came back to cover that area. Because what was going to happen, you would have had 4 of the 5 Brick players within 10 feet of the goal and only one defenseman back. Should Montclair have gained control quickly, they would have had a 2 or 3-on-1 without a problem. And it was a smart play of Tom Kogan to realize that, come back assume that point position to cover that area.
And as we've seen for the fourth time this evening, with pressure from Montclair, Brick ices the puck. It's been a good strategy so far. There's a big shot for the point, score!
That changed direction, Steve. I'm not sure if it hit another Montclair player or a Brick player. They're looking at the point, so I think it hit a Brick player. And right off the faceoff, Rosa gets the shot from the point. It was a hard, low shot, about 6 to 8 inches off the ice. It seemed to change direction and skip by Jake Kale. And you spoke about that insurance goal. There we have it right there. With just 6:13 remaining, Montclair now leads 3-1.
8:47, the time of the goal. 3-1 Montclair on Rosa's second goal of the game.
I'm assuming Reveley's going to get an assist. He was the center on the play.
Rosa now with 7 goals on the season. He plays defense, but he's been up front many times. There's a centering pass. Shot by Bailey, wide. We're down to 5:53 to go, third period. Montclair now with a 3-1 lead. Hogan sends one hard, and Hirschberg dives out in front of the puck to cover up.
Hirschberg taking no chances, making that save. We're going to take a look at that goal. Right off the faceoff, it comes back to the point, quick shot, and somewhere in there, it looks like it changes direction. The official immediately points to the goal, and then with his other hand points back to the point man, to Rosa, who took the shot. Now, he's a defenseman. That's his second goal of the game, his 7th of the season to go with his 9 assists. As we mentioned earlier, Montclair likes to use all 5 guys as a unit. They will move up, and they will get involved in the play, and that's exactly what we saw.
Off the face, scramble in front. Wondrous unable to get his stick down, and it's knocked out and cleared out. Be an icing call against the Mounties with 5:33 to go in the third period.
The question now, is Montclair going to go into a defensive shell? Are they just going to stay back and try to clear the puck out of their zone? Or are they going to continue the forechecking, the tough style that's got them this 3-1 lead?
Looking ahead on TV3 for your viewing pleasure, wrestling, 2 of the traditional powers in New Jersey, the Caldwell Chiefs, Westfield Blue Devils, Sunday the 22nd at 7 p.m., Monday the 23rd at 3 p.m., and Tuesday more primetime viewing at 9:30 p.m. on the 24th. High school wrestling on TV3. Caldwell has had many, many district region champions over the years. There's a hard shot, rebound, knocked back out. Hallenbach showing his strong big shot, the defenseman for Brick. 5:20 to go, third period. The Mounties, with that insurance goal by Rosa, have taken a 3-1 lead. Reveley circles in front, knocked down by Kale. Point blank shot by Reveley, but Jake Kale there for the save.
Reveley did 2 things real nice. He beat his man into the corner for the puck, and then after that, made a strong effort to come out in front to take the shot.
Brick has that first line out. They're trying to get a goal here quickly. 4:50 to go. Montclair with a 2-goal lead.
Obviously, Steve, the next goal is the big one. If Montclair can score it, they go up 4-1. They have the game. If Brick can score it, puts them right back in at 3-2.
Montclair tries to change some skaters. It's knocked back down. Matt Trevenant will regroup. It's Rosa, DeLuca, and Rosa again. Rosa with a big shot, wide, deflected by Akropolis. Brick led 1-0 in the first period. Tom Cogan's goal at 8:44 from Jarvis. Montclair came back in the second period. Reveley at 2:59 from DeLuca. And then Rosa with a power play goal from Portis and Reveley. 1 second, officially it was really at the buzzer at the end of the second period. 2-1 Montclair, and here Rosa, 8:47 of the third period from the right point. 3-1 Montclair.
Steve, Montclair is just trying to get the puck out of their zone. They've turned this game into a defensive game right now. Not looking really to score, just keep the puck out of their zone, preserve that 3-1 lead with just 3.5 minutes remaining.
Peter Herms' club looking to improve 6-1-3. Brick precariously could fall to 4-7 if they would lose here. And they want to get that elusive 500 mark before February 11th, the state cutoff date for being 500 or better. There's Hollenbach, a big shot from the right point. There's wide. Bray sends it back in. Minard, Volpe, and Haberbush, the second line out for Montclair. Just trying to play defensive. Minard, hockey shot in front. Shot from Bray, knocked down.
Steve, that was like a shooting gallery for about the past 2.5 minutes. That puck stayed inside the Montclair zone, and shot after shot. Some were blocked, saves were made by Hirschberg, but more importantly, Montclair kept the puck out of the net.
We're down to 2:35 to go in the third period as the puck is sent over the glass.
And right in front of us.
Hope you've enjoyed high school hockey on TV3. We'll be bringing you wrestling, basketball, and girls basketball throughout the winter campaign. On TV3, we see Bob Auriema. He won't get victory 431 here tonight, it does not appear.
Don't count him out, Steve. We still have 2.5 to go, and this team is capable of putting in 2 pucks in 2.5 minutes.
Right now, he's getting ready to send that first line out one more time, Pete. He's got the second line out, Acropolis, Ionello, and Wandrus.
The crowd yelling for a call. I don't think you're going to get one unless it's very obvious or somehow affects a play and causes the team either to lose an advantage or gain an advantage.
I'm sure we'll see Kogan and Jarvis very shortly for one last shift. We're down to 2:05 to go in the third period.
The last minute and a half, you're going to see the best 6 players for each team on the ice.
Trevenin chases it down. Pulled in by Ionello. Ionello in deep, centering pass. Hollenbach scores!
Yes, that was in and out. We had the perfect angle, Steve, from right here. The puck came out to the point. He one-timed it, didn't even bother to set it up. Shot it hard, shot it low. And Brian Hollenbach, the senior, cuts the deficit to just 1 with 1:47 to go. That time, Scott Hirschberg never saw the puck. He had his head up, looking out in front, and that puck skidded by his left skate into the short side. And as I mentioned, just 1:47 remaining. Here we take a look at it. Quick, hard shot through everybody. You see Hirschberg in disgust. He just turns around. See him throw his hands up. He never saw the shot. His defenseman did a poor job of clearing out in front. And now Brick has a chance to tie this game if they can put one more home in the last minute 47.
Exciting action. 13-13 the time of the goal. Hollenbach, his 11th goal of the season. We've seen 2 very offensive-minded defensemen here tonight, Pete. Doug Rosa with 2 goals. Brian Hollenbach here with his 11th goal of the season, a backliner for the Green Dragons as we have a timeout. Each team is allotted 1 timeout per game, and the Green Dragons trying to regroup here. 1:47. They would love to get the tie.
Oh, they sure would, Stephen. As I mentioned earlier, now you're going to see the 5 best skaters for each side on the ice. And they'll go the entire last minute 47.
And that would certainly be Weesey and Jarvis at the wings, Kogan at center, Acropolis on defense along with Hollenbach, and Montclair I'm sure will have their first group of DeLuca, Revelli, and Bailey up front. Rosa and Trevenin on defense. Of course, Scott Hirschberg in goal. You know, it's an interesting facet of the season here, Pete, with our separate state tournaments coming up. We could see these 2 teams in March if Brick can get over the 500 mark come February 11th. What we've seen here tonight will be a great game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is going to be a big hurdle for them to get over that hump and become 500 because of the difficult division that they play in. However, they are, without a doubt, either the second or third best public school in the state, trailing only Montclair here. They are ranked number 10, and Chatham is ranked number 11.
The only public school I could see touching it might be Chatham. They've already beaten Hightstown 8-4, who's the best team in the Colonial Valley Conference. You would have to think it's basically right now Montclair, Chatham, and Brick if they can get over 500 come February 11th. It's not going to be easy in this division, as you said.
And then the winner of that game gets the berth in the overall championship against the private parochial winner.
And that's going to be some power-studded group with CBA, Del Barton, and Seton Hall among the teams to watch there.
It sure will, Steve.
Off the face, Montclair trying to preserve this 1-goal lead. We're down to 1:39. Trying to get it out. It's kept in. But here comes Revelli. The swift skating Revelli across the Brick line. knocked down. You will not see a penalty, I do not believe, in these waning moments unless it's awfully blatant.
The thing you should look for, Steve, though, is see when Brick is going to pull their goaltender. When are they going to pull Jake Cale in favor of that sixth skater?
If they can clear it back down in the next few seconds, we're down to a minute 13 as Acropolis begins to skate out, dumps it into neutral ice. We see across the Montclair line, tries to keep it in the corner, and Cale goes to the bench with a minute to go, and we'll have a face-off. We see doing a good job. They'll have the face-off there in the Montclair zone.
It'll be just inside the blue line, about 7 feet over the line, along the far boards. There we take a look at Cale. Now, are they going to put him back in? It looks like they are going to put him back in. And what they'll determine is to see what happens after this face-off. If it comes back to Brick and they're able to dump it back in quickly, he'll go right to the bench again. As you see, Cale is about 15 to 20 feet outside his net. He's close to the bench, knowing that as soon as that puck drops, depending where it goes, whether he comes to the bench or whether he has to back up and play his position. Timeout being called right now by Brick. The first timeout was by Montclair. This one's by Brick. So with just 59 seconds to go, Brick wants to talk it over.
And Bob Auriema has been in this situation many times before, as has Montclair and Brick. Montclair and Brick, of course, in the 1981 state final. Montclair won 6-5 in overtime. In 1990, Brick won 2-1 in regulation in the NJSAA final. They've been in many Gordon Cup games of note. When I go back, I can remember being a fan as a student in West Essex and going to a jam-packed South Mountain Arena and seeing Brick and Montclair, Seton Hall, West Essex, Livingston, Chatham. When those teams were powerhouse teams, it was just great hockey in the Gordon Cup playoffs. And this is the type of game we've seen here tonight. Back and forth, good skating, clean hockey, a 3-2 game. The type of game we really anticipated.
Steve, how old are you that you remember those games?
I will not divulge that, but I'm younger than you.
But you're all right, I won't say anything more. But you're absolutely right. Those games back then, back in the 70s and early 80s, were tremendous games played at a South Mountain Arena. Back when this league first started, they only played out of 2 rinks, and that was the South Mountain Arena and Branch Brook Ice Center. And in fact, almost every one of the teams came from Essex County, with the exception of Chatham and Chatham Borough.
Unfortunately, Livingston and West Essex went by the wayside for a while. They're now in the American Conference. West Essex is coming up again. But these two teams, Montclair and Brick, have remained powers along with Seton Hall all the way through from the 1950s until today. 59 seconds to go, the face-off. Jarvis taking it along with Reveley. It's dumped in. Trevenin. We're down to 50 seconds. Cale is off the ice. Brick has the extra skater. Lionello is on. Centering pass for Acropolis, unable to get the stick down. Water off nicely. That's on a good job defensively by Portis and Trevenin. Reveley on the empty netter attempt is wide. We're down to 32 seconds.
Steve, if that puck crossed the goal line, it would have been icing. Thank God it was a little short for Montclair's sake.
Brick puts the pressure on. We're down to 21 seconds. It's cleared out. Acropolis comes back. Brick will have one more rush with 13 seconds remaining. Lionello. Here's Weesey. Centering for Jarvis. On the wing for Hollenbach. The shot. He scores! With 5 seconds left. Hollenbach has tied the game at 3-3.
3 passes inside the blue line, all with less than 10 seconds remaining, and it gives Brick a 3-3 tie with just 5 seconds left. There you see a dejected Peter Herms, but credit Brick with some excellent pass work. The first pass was made at the blue line. We're going to see the play start right there. There you see as he gains the blue line, the one pass there. Now watch as he takes his time. He sees Hollenbach on the right side. There's the pass. Watch the shot. Low stick side, just inside the post. And with 5 seconds left, a beautifully executed play by Brick gives them the 3-3 tie.
And what a game we've seen here this evening. Rosa's goal beat the buzzer in the second period to give Montclair a 2-1 lead. They took a 3-1 lead, but Brick, with 2 goals by Brian Hollenbach, have tied this game 3-3 with 5 seconds left. Off the face. And that is it. Montclair and Brick have played to a 3-3 tie. And what a game for our second hockey telecast here in 1995 on TV3.
Steve, I hope we see these two teams in the public championship. It would be fitting. They played well tonight. It was an evenly contested game. You couldn't ask for anything more.
Brick took an early 1-0 lead on Cogan's goal, 8:44 of the first. There was reveille in the second period at 2:59, and then Rosa with a buzzer beater, 2-1 Montclair at the end of 2. Montclair came back to take a 3-1 lead on Rosa's shot from the right point at 8:47. Hollenbach 3-2 with 1:47 left, and Hollenbach again with 5 seconds left. Let's take a look at the game winner. Excuse me, the game tying goal. It almost seems like a win for Brick when you're down 3-1 late in the third.
The play starts so well right from center ice. The one pass there. There's your second pass. Now he has enough sense to see Hollenbach on the right side, and there's the pass. He picks his head up. He sees that far side. He had the goaltender, Hirschberg, deep in the net. Hirschberg did not come out and break down that angle. He stayed back on the goal line, giving up that far side. He slid the puck perfectly right on the ice. Great shot, great goal.
Well, in the regular season, New Jersey Interscholastic Hockey League, they do play to ties. There is no overtime. Our final score, once again, Brick 3, Montclair 3. Thanks for watching.